And welcome, race fans, to another fantastic night of racing as we are here at the Fired Up Esports League, dubbed Fuel, for their regular season finale as they take to the banks of Dover, Delaware, for their season finale. Should be a fun one tonight as we are running the Great American Smokeout 160. And that is presented by Missy out there. Should be a good one. The Great American Smokeout is paying homage to the third Thursday of November and is a push to quit smoking. As a smoker, my wife and myself just recently, by recently I mean as of today, even prior to this race and even knowing what the title of it was going to be, had elected to quit as well. But quitting smoking is not an easy manner for anybody that has attempted it or actually done it. It does take time and it takes a plan. You don't have to quit smoking on the first day, but it's always good to start on day one. So again, the third Thursday in November is the day to start your journey towards a smoke-free life. So you're going to be joining thousands of people who smoke across the country and taking that very important first step in a healthier lifestyle, lowering your health risks exponentially. Yes, very big word. I had to look that up. Again, the American Cancer Society does give help and grant access to resources to help support you in your efforts to quit and kick the habit. So again, very good. It's a very good race. Another name, something that Fuel does all the time, and they've continued doing it. But enough of listening to me on that one there. Thank you again. This race title was given by Missy, so very good and very thank you again on that. But as always tonight, right below me is the legend himself, the myth, the man, Mr. J. Stan, Jeremy Stanley, back tonight after missing last week. How are you doing, buddy?
I am doing great. Dover's awesome. I love this place. Going to be some action-packed racing for sure. Sucks I had a miss last week, but I'm definitely glad to be back here for this week. And yeah, what an awesome promotion, by the way. Next Thursday. I'm not a fan of it personally, and I don't like to see people do it, but I know people do it for multiple reasons. And to have a day where your families usually gather around, or someone like me who doesn't like to see it, it's kind of cool that there's like a little promotion for it. So definitely start your day one there. If you had to choose a day, do it with thousands of people across America and wherever else you're going to try it. So, but yeah, I'm excited to be here. Dover's a great track, great race, and looking to see if Mr. Course can go back to back. I know he won last week. And right now he's topping the charts in qualifying. Everyone's looking pretty bad fast for that matter. So let's get this thing going.
Absolutely. And to recap here on the Nerd TV pre-race show presented by Martin Sports. Again, check out their apparel, martinsports906.com. Promo code SuperNerd. Save you a little bit of that greenback at checkout. Last week, Jeremy was not here by Mr. J. Stan, not Jeremy Coors. Obviously, he was here because he got the win last week. But last week was a wild finish, come down to fuel mileage on that one there at Auto Club, so should be a good one. Now, the thing is this is the season finale to the regular season. After tonight's race is going to set the field for Fuel's race-offs, where they visit 4 tracks. A road course being the Daytona road course. They are going to visit a short track. They are going to visit a speedway. And then they are going to visit a super speedway. So they're going to hit all 4 expertise areas on there. So by the time they're done and they do crown a Sticker Cabana Truck Series champion at the end of the season, Jeremy, they are going to be the most well-versed and lucky as well, because racing does play a little bit of luck into it, champion that this series has to offer.
Yeah, I'm glad they're doing something like that. NASCAR has finally picked up on that and throwing some curveballs into the postseason, race-offs or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, Daytona road course, and they're actually doing it at nighttime by what the schedule says. For a stock car, that's really impressive. It's going to be really curious if it is going nighttime next week. Then Talladega, Iowa, and then Indianapolis to end it all off. So what a great place to end that. And that's on the oval. I know at NASCAR's kind of niched that out, but they're going back to the oval. So yeah, it should be an interesting postseason. But tonight's it for the regular season, which to a lot of drivers and especially a lot of those traditionalist fans out there, this is the real championship, right? So huge deal for a lot of these guys to get that top spot.
Absolutely. And as you see, the field is starting to grid. So we are going to bring an end to the Nerd TV pre-race show presented by Martin Sports. And we are going to get these ugly mugs off the face. Wave bye-bye. We will see you guys at the post-race podium show presented by Sticker Cabana. But we're going to take you down trackside.
And we got a grid lined up here. Cody Porter did take the top spot after I mentioned about Coors fast lap time. So Cody Porter P1, Jeremy Coors in second, right up to his outside. It looks like third place. We're sitting with Anthony Crownover in the one truck, Brooks Dirting in fourth, Greg Holt in fifth, George Oakes in sixth. We got Oscar Jensen running in seventh. Starting on his outside in eighth is Braden Carroll. Ninth place, Richard Malagani. 10th place on his outside is Connor Hazel. Sitting in 11th place is Bradley Walters. 12th place, Scott Martin. 13th, we're looking at Josh Benoit. 14th, Clayton White. 15th, Bryson Dirting. 6th place, Holmesy. And 17th, Tim Henderson. And last place, and he did not take a time, but Jeff Converse is currently sitting at 18th. He is on track. He will make it. He just elected to start in the rear of the field tonight.
Yeah, which is not uncommon. Some of these drivers. Dover is a very challenging track, but should pose a very excellent race tonight. Now, something special that we have for the Sticker Cabana post-race podium show is we will be interviewing our top 3 podium finishers for this race, but we will also be bringing in our top 3 podium championship standings for the regular season. That's first, second, and third. Ask them a couple questions, a little bit of their expectations for the fuel race-offs that will be happening 2 weeks from today's date, starting at the Daytona Road Course. That should be an excellent coverage there, as well as those 3 individuals will be awarded $15 for your regular season champion, iRacing credits, 10 iRacing credits for second place, and 5 iRacing credits for third place. That is presented by Nerditudes, is going to be offering that. And not just Nerditudes, but the boss lady herself behind the scenes of Nerditudes. That is none other than my lovely wife, Brandy Logston, is the one that is giving the award credits to the top 3.
That's pretty cool, to reward the season champion. Like I said, that's a big deal for a lot of the people who are used to the old point system where you just hashed out to the end of the season, so people are excited for that. But we're going green flag racing here. Green flag underway. Cody Porter and Jeremy Coors side by side. Really good restart over the second line of Anthony Crownover and Brooks Dirting.
Yeah, so Porter taking to that inside there, so excellent start. He will take over that top spot. But right on his heels is that 97 of Jeremy Coors. Coors now fallen into that second position. Anthony Crownover now in third. These drivers are starting to pull away and gap a little bit. Brooks Dirting back and forth, and Greg Holt falls in fifth. You do have a couple trucks side by side there. It's going to be the 27 of Oscar Jensen and the 5 of Oakes going side by side, battling for that 6th spot, Jeremy.
Braden Carroll almost gets to the back bumper of George Oakes just by mere inches, avoided this truck, and looks like he's trying to get around George Oakes again as he's putting some huge pressure on that rear end. He's got some speed in that truck. It looked a little loose off of turn 4, no problem there. But a lot of these guys are single filed out for the most part. I know we got a long race for you guys at 160 laps at Dover. And Dover, Dustin, as you know, not good on your tires.
No, that is an understatement, to say the least. On that, as you did see Braden Carroll go to the inside, a little bit of a door check there to move the 5 of George Oakes up, but does get that spot. But no, you are absolutely right. It chews the tires up. Now, the typical fuel run here, depending on the gearing that these drivers are running, is anywhere from 65 to 80 laps. I know that's a long stretch on that, but again, gearing is everything. But the issue is will the tires last that long, Jeremy?
If there's one person to ask, it's going to be Josh Benoit. He's always the one trying the crazy pit strategies, and I want to see what he's got in store for us tonight. I don't know if he's going to try to do a 2 or 3 stopper, or if he's just going to run it out past 80 laps and save everything he can. But it took me 10 years to run this place competitively. You got to have to know how far you can push the tires, and how much you can save, and the long run. If you can save these things, it's a huge advantage. If you do run up to 80 laps, I'm curious to see if some of these guys right now in 10th place or so are going to be up in the top 5 contending for the lead if a long run occurs.
Yeah, it's again, we have a lot of laps, folks, so hang in there. These boys are going to give you one hell of a show. But we want to thank everybody that is out there watching live and watching these guys already putting on a hell of a show with racing. We do monitor the chat channels, so during this broadcast, if you'd like to shout out to your favorite driver or who you are rooting for, if you just want to shout out to Jeremy and I up here, give us a little bit more company up in the booth, we absolutely encourage that, and we will give you guys a shout out in the broadcast to bring you guys into the action as well, because we are here because of you folks. But back to the race in action, we're going to go back up front to Cody Porter, who is starting to stretch it out big time on a commanding lead over second place Jeremy Coors on this. But again, it's still very, very early. Coors stretched out a little bit from third place Anthony Crownover, who Crownover is definitely wanting a much better finish than what he had last week, as he was definitely in position to win that race and ran out of fuel coming out of turn 4 to the white flag lap. So talk about a heartbreaker last week, but he is definitely looking to try to capitalize and rebound this week, Jeremy.
Yeah, he's got an interesting paint scheme. I don't know if you noticed, but during some light reflections, it has the number 2 on the door, and then as the camera pans around, it turns into a number 1. Never seen that. That's quite cool in my book. But also, I wanted to side note, your points leader, Joseph Causey, is not here tonight. He does have a 52-point advantage over Josh Benoit, who's currently running inside the top 10. He's going to gain some points for sure, but he's not going to get enough. So I think Causey just took a little, he's got the postseason or the regular season championship kind of locked up. So I think he just took the night off knowing so. Who knows? But I just want to make that quick note there. As you see, Josh, like I said, second place in points, running in 8th place right now.
Yeah, running in 8th place, and you're absolutely correct that with the point standings the way they are, with Causey not showing up tonight, Benoit could go out and win this race, and Causey will still come out of tonight's event, the regular season finale, with the regular season championship, as he's amassed a good points lead throughout the regular season, being one of the multiple race winners that Fuel has had the pleasure of crowning in their inaugural season this season. A lot of trucks bouncing off the wall there. As you see Braden Carroll bouncing off the wall. Trucks have to take evasive maneuvers on that. One of those being the 46 of Benoit. The other one is a 22 to Fat Caterpillar Malagani himself. But these trucks definitely looking a little uncomfortable as you see the 59 of Bradley Walters doing the same thing. But Jeremy, you know as well as I do, the exit to these corners, both turns 2 and 4. A hard lick there by Carroll as he's wall glued right now. Going all the way through, finally gets off cleanly. Excellent heads up on that, making sure he didn't bring anybody else in there. But Jeremy, that was a hard lick.
Yeah, I've been watching Carroll the last 3 laps as you were just talking about the field there, especially about Carroll. His truck's been all over the place since the start of this race here at Dover. So he did nail the wall on lap 11, exit turn number 4. That's where he initially got that right rear damage, as you see. And then as you were live with him, he smacked it 2 laps later, even harder. So his truck not in the best of shape. Maybe the wall actually tightened the truck up now. Who knows? It hasn't really wobbled since that second hard slap. But it's definitely not hurt or helping his speed at all. As you see right in front of him, we got Clayton White and Connor Hazel side by side for your top 10. It looks like everybody else is single file in front of them.
Yeah, Clayton White going on the inside of Connor Hazel right now, trying to get that spot. So again, good side by side, but that's the great thing about this track is you can race side by side. It's just, again, the turn 2 and turn 4 exits, those things pinch off a lot faster than drivers really realize, and they pay the prices. Contact made as we were just talking about that, and it looks like Clayton White is around Connor Hazel. Looks like George Oaks involved in that one. Big time accident coming off the corner on that one, Jeremy.
That is huge. Jeff Converse just ran right into the front of Anthony Crownover as he was spinning in the middle of the track. Could not get woed up in time as Clayton White and Crownover, for that matter, tangled right in the middle of the front stretch. Heavy contact. There's no fast repair here, so there's trucks, 3 or 4 trucks, heavy damage. I don't know if they're going to get back up to speed or not. The crew's got a lot of work to do, and this track's kind of short. Pace laps are not as quick as quicker than most other tracks, so they got to work quick to get these things back up and running.
Yeah, as we were going there, that was clearly from that camera angle, there was net code on that one there. That was unfortunate. Did look like the 06 of Clayton White was coming up a little bit, but in actual real life still had plenty of room. But there was net code on that one there where you actually started seeing the truck turn. So unfortunate thing. That's something that all the iRacers across the globe have to deal with is net code. It has plagued racing simulators since the days of yore, Jeremy, NR2K3, NASCAR Racing 2003 season. So again, tough break for a number of drivers, like you said. A lot of drivers already damaged in the early stages of this race.
Yeah, I'm going to touch back on that NR 2003 comment. If anyone who's played that game, people are still playing it today. It's crazy. But needless to say, as people have made mods and stuff for that game, as cars changed, the hitbox never changed. It's always one hitbox. So me personally, I'm used to leaving a little bit of a gap between the opponent next to me just because of that factor, because I know there's an invisible wall. And you almost have to treat it this way in iRacing, to where you have to leave that gap because there's going to be that little invisible net code that definitely just showed its face there with Clayton White and Anthony Crownover, which caused multiple trucks to come out. So it's just one of those mindset things to where if you can try to avoid, give that 6 inches of space to kind of avoid that wreck from potentially happening. And in that case, the Dover, it's one of those things where the corners, you get so tight on the exit, right? And then sometimes it's just unavoidable. Yeah,
and it was actually Connor Hazel that was involved in that accident. Crownover currently scored in your P2 position right now. Hey, it's all right, man, because they are running almost identical trucks, so that's why I had to actually do a double check on it as well. But, unfortunate thing. Some trucks damaged. Last week's third-place finisher there in the 92, Mr. Jeff Converse, getting a piece of it as well. He's coming to the attention of his crew. So already a number of damaged race trucks in this situation here, which is a very unfortunate thing because there was a lot of fast race trucks. Looks like Scott Martin has gotten a piece of it. George Oaks got a piece of that. Connor Hazel, Clayton White, Jeff Converse got a piece of that. Braden Carroll's damaged from the earlier wall hit. So again, we already have some damaged vehicles coming out of our first caution, Jeremy.
Yeah, it's definitely unfortunate for those guys. Multiple fast trucks involved in that. But yeah, I'm going back and reviewing the paint scheme. Definitely had me fooled. That's why you can see the 2 and the 1 in the door of Crownover, because that truck was also made for Connor. Apparently, identical truck. So definitely caught me off guard for sure.
Yeah, that's all right. Those Pro Rev Esports drivers always sporting good team schemes, like a number of the drivers out there. So again, we are under our first caution of this evening on working lap 21 of 160. That's going to cut that gap that Cody Porter had really stretched out over second place. Anthony Crownover cut it down to absolutely zilch. So wanted to remind everybody out there that Fired Up Esports League does run a limited set of tires. They have 5 tires total. That means 1 set on the truck they start with, 4 in the pits, which is why you did not see every driver come down pits to get a set of tires, because there's only 20 on this set right now. So that's also something that they have to kind of toy with and keep in the back of their mind as they pull laps.
It's got to be so tempting to change these tires at Dover, man. It's 20 laps in. There's a potential to have a lot more cautions. We've seen it, not every race, but we've seen it from time to time. And 20 laps, Dustin, I want tires. I think I'm going to risk it early and get some tires, but some of these guys elected not to. So that's the strategy. Already is starting to make some, or showing its face rather, but we're waiting for the green flag to drop. green flag is out underway. Cody Porter and Crownover with an excellent start over the second row.
Yeah, so side by side off into turn one is Porter and Crownover. Porter will take sole possession of that number one spot. Has about a truck length. Crownover in second, but under a lot of heat and pressure right now from the 97 of Jeremy Coors, who was coming back after that caution there and working his way back forward. So that is your battle for second. Right now in fourth place, Greg Holt is holding it down. And look who has worked his way up into the top five for the first time tonight. That is the 46 of Mr. Benoit.
Yeah, he's looking fast here. He's going for fourth place in a hurry as Crownover is falling back from second to fifth. Now we see Brooks Durden going to the inside of him. Crownover falls back to sixth early on.
Yeah, falling back on that one as he gets into the wall. A little bit of a kiss, not too bad there. But Brooks Durden in that 99 will take over that fifth spot. And it looks like Crownover losing more as we're watching Malagani pass him, as well as the 27 of Oscar Jensen will take that. So Malagani, credit him, up to sixth place. Oscar Jensen up to seventh. And you see Cody Porter falling back as well. What happened there?
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I'll have to go back and take a look. I was trying to watch Crownover's thing. I don't know if he's just trying to save those tires for that really long run effort. But yeah, Cody Porter, good call. He has fallen back quite a few positions. Watching it right now, and just got out of the racing groove and got really tight on the exit of turn number 4. Had to do a huge checkup, and that's where Aaron ate him alive.
Yeah, and that is not uncommon at this track here. The good thing is he's got plenty of laps to try to make that back up again. But that will relinquish the lead to that 97 truck. Last week's winner, Jeremy Coors, now in open, clean air. So we'll see what he can do to see if he can't stretch it out, much like Cody Porter had done on that first run before the first caution. That will move Greg Holt in that number 3 Lego truck up to your second position, with the 46 of Benoit up to your third position. Again, Brooks Durden in fourth, and Rich Malagani officially cracks the top 5 for the first time tonight. So Malagani out there having a damn good run as well, which is good to see. We'll see what he can't do for the remainder of this race, but again, cracking that top 5.
I'm glad to see Malagani running the top 5 for sure, and Jeremy Coors with his first taste of fresh air on the nose of that Toyota, or that Ford rather. He is moving fast. Greg Holt, though, we know he's competitive everywhere. He's going to make a good run. So Greg Holt and Josh Benoit definitely benefited from that first caution, passing several trucks. A couple of them had issues. I don't know if Crownover saving tires or whatnot, but they've taken advantage of it. And they're actually closing the gap a little bit over Coors in the race lead.
Yeah, and Holt and Benoit, again, they are running so close right now. Benoit right in the wake of the of Holt's truck there. And again, they are chasing him down. But this top 6 right here, going from Coors all the way back to Oscar Jensen, has really spaced themselves out. They have pulled away from the rest of the field, Jeremy, as it sits. So Oscar Jensen right back there chasing down the 22 of Malagani. Your next driver is going to be the 59 of Bradley Walters. And unfortunately enough, we're going to go on board. That's almost a straightaway distance that they have pulled away, being the top 6.
Yeah, the top 6 got their own little pack, so to speak. They are on a move. Your only real battle right now is for 8th, 9th, and 10th. They're pretty clustered up and trying to get some positions changed around. Everybody else in front of them are just single file for the most part. It looks like we're getting Oscar Jensen putting a little pressure on Richard Malagani for that top 5 spot. He looks low to the inside of Richard. Gets his nose underneath there. Let's see if he gets a good run off the exit of turn number 2. He does not. He has to check up. Oscar Jensen to 5th place.
So Jensen up to 5th place again. That's his first time cracking the top 5. Malagani does fall in line behind. So again, your 5th and 6th place do change there, but the rest of your running order remains the same. 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and going back. So those your top 4 are now starting to pull away from your 5th and 6th, Jeremy. So again, we're starting to see a lot of these setups, long run setups, short run setups. They're starting to come into play, as now you're starting to see the 46 of Benoit try to put some pressure and try to make that pass on the 3 of Holt, as he himself is getting pressure from the 99 of Brooks Durden.
Yeah, it looks like Coors has found his groove and starting to pull away, or the fact that Greg Holt is starting to slow up just a little bit more on this long run, and it's allowed Josh Benoit and Brooks Jardine to get to the rear end of him. You see Brooks Jardine right up on that rear end of the 46 of Josh Benoit. No contact was made. Getting real close real early, shoving his nose underneath to the inside. Looks like Brooks Jardine is on a move to the top 3.
Yeah, he's got that nose on the inside there, but that run that Benoit is able to hold coming off the corner is helping him out. But this right here, that entry is where Durding is going to really get a lot, as he is now alongside of the 46, looking to try to complete that pass going into the next corner, and does. So Mark Brooks Durding up to your top 3. Josh Benoit now falls back to 4th.
Going back to the field here a little bit, looks like our pole sitter Cody Porter is in 10th place. That truck is falling back real quick here, along with Anthony Crown over here. Those 2 trucks basically led or second and third place on that restart grid, 10th and 11th. They have fallen back quite a bit for sure. And yeah, the top 5 or 6 just keep pacing themselves out even further and further away from 7th on back.
Now, Jeremy, it wouldn't be the first time that I have seen this. I do know that, Porter did, have to check up there whether the truck was tight. I'm kind of wondering if they're not already trying to play some fuel mileage here. Now, again, the pit window was 65 to 80 laps, depending on, 1, how much you saved, and 2, your gearing. 80 laps right there is your halfway point for your 160 total laps for tonight's event. Theoretically, if they could save enough and not lose as much time to the leaders, they could come out on top with a one-stop race. Now, this is something that we've seen as recently as last week at Auto Club. Jeremy Coors, in his post-race interview, did mention that he had actually already started conserving and saving because he calculated that out. He had already started conserving on about lap 40 of that event. So he was already planning way ahead of the time. And Jeremy, if you recall, roughly right around what lap did we see both of these drivers fall back?
Yeah, I mean, they fell back kind of quick there. But that if they're saving the gas, they got a 20-lap advantage from that caution if they were to come down and pit. So, yeah, they could definitely extend this thing to a 1 green flag stop if it goes green the rest of the way. For sure. We see Scott Martin on the high side here as the top 5 goes around him on the inside. He's got heavy damage to the inside of that truck. I don't recall him being in a wreck earlier, Dustin.
I don't know if he got a piece of that initial accident that happened with Clayton White that brought out that first and only caution thus far, or what the deal was, but I know that he, again, heavy damage on that. Which is unfortunate because he had a good qualifying effort going into it, but he's still out there. I do know he is on the cusp of being able to make the race-offs or not, so that is why he is going to stick it out there for every single lap that he can. Yeah,
he actually on lap 16 slammed the outside wall of turn number 4 right behind the number 5 of George Oaks. He slammed the outside wall, then shot down and slammed the inside wall, so that was just an isolated incident on his part. Caused heavy damage on both sides of that truck. That's a shame. It's a good driver, but that paint scheme though, he ruined such a nice looking truck out there. And his truck it's not up to speed. It is definitely under pace, and his crew's got a lot of work to get him back to being competitive.
Yeah, but being competitive right now, back up front as we're going to run through the field here. As we are working lap 44 of 160. Jeremy Coors still leading the way right now. And has really stretched out a commanding lead over your second place runner, being that 3 of Greg Holt. Greg Holt's truck looking really good, but definitely going to have to try to find some more speed to try to chase down the 97. Brooks Durding in third. Again, solidly in third. A lot of these trucks really starting to get spaced out. Oscar Jensen on a solid run. Good to see that 27 truck having a solid run as he is solidly in that 4th position. Benoit has slowed up off the pace a little bit, fallen back to that 5th position. Rich Malagani behind him trying to chase down Benoit is in that 6th position. Solid run for that 22 team. Behind him is the 59 of Bradley Walters. Again, a lot of space in between a lot of these drivers, so they comfortably hold these positions. Tim Henderson in that 00 is sitting in your 8th position right now, as you see him on the inside of the 67 of Scott Martin. Bryson Durding, good to see him make a return and back on the track, is running in your 9th position. Rounding out your current top 10 is the 04 of Cody Porter.
That's your top 10 for you guys. I'm kind of looking at the lap times right now, and they're just over a second slower than what they were 26 laps ago when that green flag came out for the first restart of this evening. So the tire wear is definitely already showing its face. These guys, I mean, don't be surprised, really, to be honest, if they start closing the gap back up around lap 40 or 50 onto this run. They got themselves spaced out. You're really going to see where the long run trucks are shining right now, and Jeremy Coors has that dominant truck right now. Greg Holt's kind of sitting under the wake. I knew he fell back a little early, but I think he's got something as the laps keep ticking.
Yeah, as the laps are going to keep ticking away, Coors still stretching that out. He's got about a half a straightaway lead over the 3 of Greg Holt. Again, Jeremy, pretty much your top 10 drivers, each one of them is solidly in their position, with the exception of Benoit and Malagani, as Malagani is chasing down the 46 of Benoit right now. And at the rate and pace that he is going, should get to his back bumper in about a lap and really start challenging to see if he can't jump back up into that top 5.
Yeah, he's hungry. He's looking forward to doing so, and he's putting on a pretty good show for us tonight. Love to see him up there competing for the top 5. Josh Benoit kind of falling back a little bit. He had that huge restart. He went from 8th to 3rd, and his truck just doesn't look like it's just right there. He just plows up really high up in the center of the corner there. He diamonds it a little bit for that good run, but when you slide the truck like that in the middle of the corner, that just shreds these tires away, especially at Dover.
Yeah, and you see him. He's taking that higher line there. Again, it does look like a handling issue. Is typically that's not where he had been taking that, but that allowed Malagani really to close in on him. So as long as Rich keeps working on his back bumper, Rich could get by him here within the next few laps. But again, you got to wonder, Jeremy. I mean, we are talking about Benoit, just like we've talking about a number of these drivers. Are they playing strategy? I mean, as early as 40 laps in, I mean, anything can happen on this one.
Yeah, they got about another, according to your calculations there, another 40 potential green flag laps before they have to come down for fuel or tires, whatever comes first there. So they're only halfway through this run. We could see some people, show some late speed in this run and just kind of show us what's up and make some huge runs there, but we see Richard Malagani finally get around Josh Benoit, clears him. He's back into the top 5.
Yeah, Malagani back into the top 5. I do want to bring some people in on the broadcast. We got Anthony Crownover asking us, what is up, fellas? Buddy, how are you texting when you are driving, man? Is he pulling a Keselowski or what's going on? But to answer your question, we are doing fantastic. You guys are putting on a hell of a show. So, Alicia Simmons says, go Josh Benoit. So again, Benoit's fan base out there, solid as usual. Thank you again. We always enjoy having you on the broadcast. And the boss lady herself, Brandy Logston, says, hey. And yes, I have to say it that way. Otherwise, she just would not have the same effect on it. So again, thank you guys for shouting out. Feel free to talk in the chat. We will bring you in periodically as we can, and we much appreciate that. But back to the racing action, Jeremy Coors still out front, but as you had talked about, that 3 of Holt is chasing him down.
He has gained exponentially since you went over to the chats there. He's gained, I think, a half a second to a full second over Coors here. So at this pace, we're going to see him with a potential lead change in about 3 to 5 laps. Jeremy Coors is probably... His truck looks nice and stout there in the middle of the corner, but I think he's just too tight. He can't get any drive off the exit, and that's where you see Holt make that huge runs. Yeah,
we're on board right now on the roof cam with Holt, and it does look like that he has to put a little extra wheel into it, he being Jeremy Coors, to keep it off that wall there. You do see it yaw out a little bit coming off that corner. So, again, still putting some wheel into it, but still holding that top line. But for how much longer before the 3 of Greg Holt goes up to challenge that, as we are now working lap 58 of 160, and Holt is almost on the back bumper of your current race leader, Jeremy Coors.
Greg Holt saying, let go of my top spot here, as he's going to try. He is to the bumper. Of course, it's only a matter of time, it looks like, with all this extra speed. Kicking back to third place, Brooks Dirting's even faster than Greg Holt as he's catching him. We see Greg Holt finally go to the inside of Coors and cleanly take over the top spot. Greg Holt to the point.
Yeah, Greg Holt completes that pass and does it clean. Coors back to second place. A little further back, though, as you were talking about, that 99 of Brooks Dirting is starting to catch a lot of late run speed. So again, we were talking about this is where you are going to start seeing a lot of these setups really start to come through. These drivers build for short run, mid run, and long run. And as we are on a longer run right now, so hitting 40 laps in this run, which is 20 laps longer than our initial run, this is where those long run setups are going to really start to shine, Jeremy.
Yeah, they're right dead smack in the middle of that potential 80-lap run here. So about 20 laps is when you might start seeing some trucks dip down for some tires. But these trucks right now, looking at the lap times, they're second and a half, a little over a second and a half slower now from the initial pace from the restart. So they're really feeling it out there. And sometimes when you short pit, again, that second and a half per lap, over the course of 30 or 40 laps could make the ground up and then some. So you might see some trucks do a 2-stop system here if they want to try it. We see Benoit try to do that multiple times. He might be one of those ones. Who knows? But the potential is there. Everybody else is spaced out. So, we might start seeing some strategy soon.
Yeah, very well could be. Now, talking about Benoit, he is losing positions fast as he has fallen back to 6th place right now, and that 7 of Bradley Walters, the 59 of Bradley Walters in the 7th position, sorry, a little bit of dyslexia there, is starting to catch him and will go up to the back bumper of the 46 here, probably within the next 2 to 3 laps, Jeremy. So again, Benoit starting to fall back. You're starting to see some of these trucks really start to lose their pace now. As we are looking at a battle for second right now as the 99 of Dirting is on the inside of the 97 of Coors, looking to try to complete that pass, but that exit speed that Coors carries, he carries so much momentum come off that corner, Jeremy.
Yeah, Dover's, it's amazing when you get that high line hooked up. You almost can't pass the guy if you have a really good mid to high line truck here with that excellent speed that you get launching off the corner. You don't have to drive uphill like the inside line does on these exits. So, but he does make the pass cleanly. Second place goes to Brooks Dirting, and now he's got his eyes set for Greg Holt, which is about 2 seconds ahead of him.
Yeah, 2 seconds ahead. These drivers are starting to hit some lap traffic. You've seen the 06 of Clayton White back out there after his accident. We do have some drivers starting to hit pit road as the 1 of Crownover has now hit pit road to come to the service of his crew. So that is lap 66 of 160. So if they were still on the initial set of tires that they started, which I believe Crownover was, he did not pit during that first caution, we are right in that 65 to 80 lap window depending on the gear ratio that these drivers have in their trucks. So we are already underway as you see the 04 of Cody Porter pulling out as well.
Going to Cody Porter, if you want to kick it over to his lap number 62 with a mental error, or at least the truck locked up and almost spun out. He missed that orange square there, the commitment line area. So he entered on the outside of that, and iRacing has held him for 40 seconds. He had finally pulled out of the pit road, but he's going to be several laps down on top of the normal speed that you lose in pit road. That's going to make it challenging to get back to the front. He's probably going to be about 2 or 3 laps down as this thing cycles out.
Yeah, as we are getting ready to show you that replay that you were talking about now, unfortunately, that is not something that we are accustomed to seeing out of that 04 truck. As this is his pit entry, you see he gets wicked loose and slides it. He locks everything up, flat spots all 4, misses that commitment line, and that is why iRacing held him for a hold penalty. Lost a lot of time. Again, not something that we commonly see out of that 04 team of Cody Porter, Jeremy.
No, not at all. He's usually pretty good at what he does, and that's just a super unfortunate event there. And these turns are so tight and so steep. When you get on the brakes to try to slow these trucks down, there's no weight in the rear. So if you don't calculate that, it's really tough to get these things slowed down in a really short amount of time. And clearly showed it right there by one of the seasoned vets, like Cody Porter. So like, he's going to need a lot of assistance with cautions, this and that, some luck on his side to get back up there. But we're seeing about probably upwards of 5 to 10 trucks that have already hit pit road, if I'm counting that right. So the strategy is out there, and it's before lap 80. So we're probably going to, we're most likely going to see a 2-stop system here if they go green the rest of the way.
Yeah, and again, we are just starting to see green flag pit stops. This can be changed and altered quite a bit with everything going on. Another shout out that just come across the channels, Melissa Benoit. Go Josh Benoit and Hideaway Motorsports. Fantastic. Again, Benoit's fan club always in session here when it comes to these races, and we love seeing that. And thank you so much for the race name. Much appreciated. By the way, that was Josh's idea about Missy, so please don't dog the broadcast team. But either way, racing action, the 3 of Greg Holt still in a commanding lead. As you see, he puts the 0-4 of Cody Porter a lap down as Porter now goes back by. Porter having those fresh tires. Greg Holt still out there on the original set he started with. So again, that's 74 laps in on a run, Jeremy. So we are already starting to see these drivers really look to push to a possible one-stop event.
Yeah, they're going to have to. It's tough, man, because right now there's a 2-second advantage between new tires and old tires, and if these guys can go about 10 more laps before they can dip down to pit road.
They just hit pit road right now.
Hitting pit road right now, it's awesome. So, that's your first and second place truck. Most of the other guys have pitted this time. Jeremy Corr should resume in the race lead just because he actually has not pitted yet. I apologize. So he's still running at first. That's one of the last trucks left to pit.
Now, that is a very scary thought, Jeremy, and I'm going to tell you why, because that's exactly what Coors had done last week when he realized that he could one-stop it and really stretch that fuel out. And it looks like that's exactly what he is trying to do again today. The man knows his math. The man obviously knows how to save fuel as well. So he's definitely trying to stretch it out to see if he can't push that one-stop race. The question is how far can he go? Now, he did fall back, and last week he did make mention that he started saving fuel at like lap 40 of 200. So that was just almost a quarter of the way through last week's race is when he started saving. So question is, how many of these drivers are going to try that same strategy?
Oscar Jensen pulled down 2 laps ago. He was currently in second when he did that. So he obviously could not do it, but Coors has got 2 to 3 laps before he can pit and be at the halfway point. So yeah, it looks like he is definitely going to try for it because I don't know why you'd stay out otherwise. So they're definitely looking at Richard Malagani, second place. He is also on that same strategy. And Bradley Walters as well. And Josh Benoit, it looks like the top 5 for that matter. I'll just kind of wait until lap 80, and we'll probably see them all dip here real soon.
Yeah, and we are on the deck lid right now with Jeremy Coors, and I can tell you right now, he is clutching it. You can hear him go in there. He's clutching it, killing it on that entry, just letting it drift and coming up. So he is trying to save to stretch it. So that is going to be the strategy that we are going to possibly try to see coming out here. The question is Malagani doing the exact same strategy as those two are still out there running?
Let me do some quick math for you here. He is 2 seconds slower than the guys with fresh tires, right? This lap time around this track is around 22 to 23 seconds per lap at your fast speed. So that's quick. That's 11 to 12 laps, and then you're a full lap around. So this strategy, he's all in right now with his chips because if this one lap thing works, it's going to be great, but it's going to be really hard to hold off the guys that are so much faster on those fresh tires.
Yeah, it is. But I tell you what, if I have learned anything from last week's race, and I know you didn't get a chance to be there and call the shots with me, but Kenny Haight did a fantastic job filling in for you. But if I learned anything from last week, it was don't question the the pit strategy ability of that 97 team. They definitely made it count, when it needed to, and a lot of the teams did last week as well. Converse was another one of them that was able to save and get up into that podium. So, again, fantastic job all the way around. So, only time is going to tell on what it is we are working lap 82 of 160. So, as it sits right now hitting 83, Jeremy Coors is past that halfway point. At any point in time now, he can pull in and theoretically make this a one-stop race.
Absolutely. We see Josh Benoit finally hit pit road on his lap 83. So we just got a couple trucks left to make that pit stop. I would have presumed to be their last pit stop of this evening based off the strategy, but I know I am terrible at strategy, so I don't try to second guess these guys. It just, playing this through my head, and it never works for me. But also wanted to make a mention too that for those people who think they're just, driving and turning left, is some people that are not so much of a NASCAR fan, or any oval racing for that matter. Like, this is strategy that's planned nights in advance, clutching, thinking, strategy. It's a tough mental game. It's a huge game of chess. It's more than just turning left, and this is a classic example for you guys right now.
Yeah, so to elaborate on what Jeremy is saying, folks, is what these drivers are doing in real life takes 3 to 4 individuals. These guys are driving it. They're calculating it. They're clutching it. I mean, these guys are calculating a lot of things. They are their crew chief. They are their car chief. They're making adjustments on pit road as well. So, again, they are doing a lot of work when it comes to these races, a lot more than what people tend to give them credit for. So, again, I mean, there's a lot of moving parts on there. I do have another shout out on the chat. The chats are definitely live. This one here, not coming from the boss lady, but coming from my little princess, Mirabella herself, Sissy, says, "Hi, Dad." So, hi, sweetheart. Glad to see that you're up watching the race as well. But back to the race in action. Still Jeremy Coors out front. He cannot have that much left in the tank, Jeremy. There can't be. He's pushing 90 laps. As it sits right now, as is the 22 of Rich where they got in it.
Yeah, there's going to be a point in time to where you're going to be waiting too long, right? So I'm sure he's got that planned out. He knows where the peak run falls off, and I'm just really curious. I'm just watching him, man. It's I expect him to drop at lap 80, and we're almost at lap 90, and he's still running out there doing his thing, running 25.4 second lap time. 25.4. His qualifying time was a 22.6. So that's theoretically almost 3 seconds off the pace from your fast time. But he's taking them away, Dustin.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's doing. He's taking them away. But you also got to remember, too, that in the event of NASCAR's overtime, the green-white checkered, they have to allow a little bit of fuel consumption for extra laps, which, again, at 90 laps, they should be roughly about 10 laps to the good, as we are on board right now with Jeremy Coors looking out the deck lid now as the 22 of Malagani is chasing him down and getting ever so close. You see the 46 of Benoit on the fresh tires just hot lapping around there. 22 of Malagani to the inside. This is your battle for the lead. Malagani to the race lead for the first time tonight. And actually, I do believe the first time in a while here at Fired Up Esports League. 22 to the front.
Look at him go. He's got a strategy working just as well as Coors, if not a little more. Coors loses the lead and decided to take the pit entrance right away. He knows it's not worth it anymore at this point. Malagani actually almost hit the wall there in turn 4. It caught me off guard a little bit. But yeah, he's got sole possession of the lead, and he's one of the last ones to dip down.
Yeah, and it does look like he is slowing down. Looks like he could possibly be out of fuel. Might have cut it a little too close on that one. But he is going to be able to coast back around. But the question is, he is out of fuel. You see him shaking that truck, trying to get everything he can out of it, as he has to woe it down, and he still has to make it to his pit stall to prevent a tow to get there, as he's shaking it back and forth. Malagani trying to stretch it, but losing a lot of time on this one here. ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, that is how close these drivers push it and how close their calculations are. Listen, I have a hard time enough doing math with my fingers and toes, let alone while doing 160 mile an hour around a track. Malagani slowly coasting into his pit stall. It does look like he is going to be able to make it almost there. He is at his pit stall, but lost a lot of time running that thing completely dry, Jeremy.
He lost so much time. He was 10 to 15 mile an hour underneath the speed limit in pit road. And that's got to seem like the longest 30 seconds to a minute of your life when you hear that engine shut down for gas. That is much feels for him, man. He's got a lot of work to do to get back up even to the top 5 for sure. So he's going to need some caution to get back up there. But I want to go back to Oscar Jensen real quick. He's in 3rd place. He's the one who dipped down about 20 laps before Coors did, which, speaking of Coors, right on his tail end here, as you see the fresh tires, even at about a 15-lap difference, he's just going to eat him up for lunch here on the backstretch. Exited turn number 2, no problem, dips to the bottom, takes it. So Coors, actually, I would think he would need to save his tires a little bit because he's doing that one-stop thing.
Yeah, and he very well, I mean, he possibly could, but you got to think there's a lot less time that he's going to be on that set than what was the last set. The last set he was on it roughly, what was it, about 92 laps, 93 laps on that run, as it looks like the 0-4 of Cody Porter hard into the wall there a little bit, was kind of bouncing back and forth. He's still trying to bounce back up from that mental mistake, again, that we typically don't see out of that team. But again, only time is going to tell. Like I said, I mean, Coors knows how to get it done. He got it done last week on mileage, and it very well could be he's going to do it again this week. Like you said, Jeremy, a lot of these plans and strategies are planned well in advance. We're talking at the start of the week. When last week's race ended, they already started planning their strategies on fuel mileage, their overall pit strategy, and how they were going to conduct it tonight.
Yeah, and just looking over the standings, too, there's only 3 guys on the lead lap. That's just because the strategies are so stretched out. So that will change a lot, so don't mind too much of that. But, yeah, 3 guys on the lead lap. And, yeah, I expect Coors to be up here real shortly.
Yeah, it should be a good one on that as far as, what we are going to be able to see. With so many strategies, Jeremy, it is hard telling exactly how this is going to play out, and we're not going to know until we get down to the tail end of this race to see exactly who your contenders are.
Yeah, it's just all up in the air right now. We're just kind of watching as things unfold. Greg Holt, top of the charts right now, but it looks like Brooks Darting is gaining several tenths a lap over Holt, or at least close to it. He's under 2 seconds in hunting. And Oscar Jensen is also about the same way. He's about 2 tenths faster than Greg Holt right now.
Yeah, again, really chasing down that time. Dirting really making up time on that, which is, an amazing thing because Dirting's been cutting in and out of lap traffic here. And again, this lap traffic does have fresh tires on it, so they are very racy. But again, that's a challenge that when we come to these tracks here. Again, Dover is only a mile in length, so it is on the smaller side compared to some of the other bigger tracks that the NASCAR circuit does visit. So much like your shorter tracks, you are going to see lap traffic, especially on long green flag runs, Jeremy. It's going to get stretched out, and there's cars literally all the way around the track.
Yeah, there's a lot of heavy traffic with different strategies. So you see Coors just blowing off the doors of Brooks Darting there, and you see the inside of, or the Clayton White on the inside of Brooks Darting right there is also just cleanly passes them. Yeah, strategy everywhere. Cars are very different speeds throughout the track. It's so spaced out right now, but you guys watch here. In the next 20 or 30 laps, they'll be bundled up, and there'll be a race for potentially the lead here coming up here.
Yeah, now there's a number of different races that are going on right now. So Greg Holt is trying to maintain that race lead over Brooks Darting. Oscar Jensen trying to chase down Brooks Darting.
We got a wreck here. Cody Porter on the inside of the backstretch, almost into turn number 3. He tail slapped the wall hard, getting loose off the exit of turn number 2. He kept it down below on the apron there, that little apron section right before turn number 3. Did not fly the caution. It actually caused Cody Porter to exit tonight's event.
So that is an unfortunate break, just not able to bounce back from that initial pit entry error that was made. And it didn't seem like in the later stages, Jeremy, that truck was handling how it was at the start of the race. At the start of the race, that kid had a rocket going in there, and it just seemed like the handling went away as the race progressed on. And then that, like I said, that pit entry error just added insult to injury. And it is tough coming from somebody who's been out there driving. When an error like that happens, it gets in your head. And it makes things a lot more difficult, Jeremy.
It really does. It throws off your tempo. It throws off how you hit the marks in the corners. It involves a lot of things, not just an isolated incident, but the long-term effects do linger, especially at a track like Dover, too, where you have no room to really relax. You're always constantly up on that wheel, turning the truck, fighting the banking on the front and back stretch. We see Coors going around Greg Holt, or Josh Benoit, rather. Coors up to the lead lap now. He's got his lap back, and he's setting sail. He's about a second faster. So, like I said, about another 20-25 laps, we might see him circle all the way back around and be in contention here.
Yeah, very well could see that happen. So, again, it's going to be interesting on how this works. That you did talk about Coors up to fourth now. That pass over Benoit was for position. I know it's hard to keep track of it as everything is going on with these pit strategies and everybody's spaced out, but that was for position. So Benoit is in fifth, Coors in fourth. Oscar Jensen still holding down that third spot as it sits right now. Brooks Dirting in second, and on the roof cam right now with Brooks Dirting, that next set of trucks up there is your race leader going off into the corner of Greg Holt. So he is trying to chase him down. Don't know how well that is going to work, though.
Yeah, I don't know at this point. Well, we see Greg Holt actually dip down real early to the inside of turn number 3. He's going to take the safe route going into pit road. Greg Holt taking his final stop, and Brooks Dirting as well right behind him. Both trucks on the same strategy. This has got to be their last stop.
Yeah, definitely taking that short pit strategy, which, if played out, has benefited a lot of drivers. So clearly it hadn't been that long since they've been to pit road, but both your first and second place drivers electing to short pit in tonight's event. That will relinquish the race lead to that 27 truck of Oscar Jensen, now out in front with clean air. So first time that 27 has seen the lead tonight, and first time that 27 has seen the lead in a while here in fuel, but definitely has a stout race truck tonight, Jeremy.
Yeah, he's been solid in the top 5 for the most part of this race. And Richard Maligali, right now, he's not in position, but he's also a couple of trucks that we've seen in the top point that we're not used to seeing, which is good to see, as I mentioned. But Oscar just kind of playing his cards right now. Second place is a quarter of the track back, and that would be Jeremy Coors, since we saw Holt and Dirting make their pit stops final. But I'm kind of curious on the number 3 and the number 99, what their strategy is like, because they ran all those laps and then they pitted 25 laps after their green flag stop before they come back down. Sounds like a little bit of a short pit there in between. Apparently they saw the time difference and they realized that they needed to make their pit stop early.
Yeah, and I mean that, like we were saying, Jeremy, I mean short pitting has worked out in the end. Like you said, maybe they seen the time difference that they had on that longer run staying out and didn't want to have to worry about making a late race pit stop when the possible victory or a podium finish was on the line. So it could work out any number of ways, but either way, that puts that 27 of Oscar Jensen in the lead. Jeremy Coors trying to chase down Oscar Jensen to take that race lead back over. That will move the 46 of Benoit up into that third position. Tim Henderson in that 00 truck, that will move him up into the fourth position. So very cool looking scheme on that one there. Definitely Christmas themed with the polar bear. So definitely love a lot of the schemes here. And that moves Rich Malagani back into the top 5 after that running that truck completely bone dry, trying to stretch his fuel out.
Yeah, he's got a good strategy for sure. If he goes the rest of the way, he's going to put himself in a great position right here, being in the top 5. And we see Tim Henderson. He's also one of those drivers we don't see too much right now. He started 17th, currently sitting in 3rd, so his strategy is actually working pretty well for him as well.
Yeah, we do see the 46 of Josh Benoit hitting the pits as well, so possibly taking the same strategy that the 3 of Holt and the 99 of Dirting are taking with that short pit strategy. We'll see how this plays out in the end, so that will move Benoit from 3rd position. As it sits right now, he is in 8th, but we will see how that cycles through once he gets back up to speed and joins the racing surface.
Yeah, he's going to be in the likings of Anthony Crownover, who is 2 laps down. Benoit has last scored 1 lap down, but let's see if he goes 2 laps down as he gets back onto the track surface here. No problem doing so. Everybody else looks like they're on the track. Nobody else really. Actually, I take that back. No, it's just a damage truck. I'm sorry. Yep, so everybody else is on the track. They're running their thing, and I think pit stops are. I would imagine, Dustin, at this point with only 40 laps to go, I think. My money's on that. I think everybody has done completing their. We got a wreck on the track, I do believe. Nope. I was trying to listen to the drivers talk as well in the race chat and thought there was something going on, but I apologize.
That is all right, but as green flag short pits have started, we are going to take this time here to take a short commercial break. We are going to leave the race in action live. Cameras will stay live, but we were going to take a short commercial break. We will be right back with you to bring you nonstop race in action for the final 30 laps of tonight's event. and welcome back, race fans. As you've seen, while we were out during our commercial break, a number of drivers did come down pit road for what would be their last pit stop. Oscar Jensen being one of those drivers, and Rich Malagani being another one of those drivers did come down to the service of their crew that did relinquish the lead back to the 97 truck of Jeremy Coors. On his backside is the 00 of Tim Henderson running in that second position, so excellent run. Now gets passed by the 99 of Durding and soon the 3 of Holt, but Henderson will still hold that fourth position with fifth place, rounding out being the 59 of Bradley Walters, Jeremy.
Yeah, I'm continuing to keep track of the pace of the leader and the two guys that pitted behind him now of Greg Holt and Brooks Durding. Running about 7/10 faster right now, and they're on 30 laps to go out of the 160 laps tonight. And at 7/10 a lap here, they're just under a half a track behind them. It's going to be close to call here as the tires kind of give out a little bit more, and it might actually pose for an exciting finish here because they're going to be all bundled up as they near the end of the race.
Yeah, they're going to be, as you see the 00 of Henderson now starting to come down pit road to the service of his crew for what is going to be his final pit stop of tonight's event. It is going to be interesting. Again, we want to say thank you to the sponsors you've seen on the commercials there. So again, we always want to pay homage to iRacing, the official iRacing simulation software of this Fired Up Esports League and of Nerditudes. We also want to say thanks to Martin Sports. Again, Martin Sports Apparel they have some of the best apparel that you have, and not only that, but sim racing equipment as well. Check out their gloves. Get your hands on a pair of that. Hashtag get a grip. That's martinsports906.com. We also want to pay homage to some of the sponsors that we did not have commercials for. That's Nature Med, again, the leading dispensary in the Tucson area. Being Nature Med, again, both physical complications as well as the non-visual ones, being the mental complications, anxiety, PTSD. Nerditudes is always a huge supporter of Educate to Medicate. So again, that is Nature Med. And Sticker Cabana, they were not featured on the commercial either, the title sponsor for the Sticker Cabana Truck Series. As we get back, it looks like the 67 truck is slow on the inside. I thought I had seen a puff of smoke just before we were plugging some of those sponsors there. Possibly a blown motor for the 67 of Scott Martin as he is trying to stay down low, not to bring that caution out, and trying to nurse it back around to pit road. Don't know if he's going to be able to make it, Jeremy.
His engine has expired. I heard that thing kill itself in turn number 4, and he has been coasting ever since. He's probably going to have to park the truck early, dipping it down before he can get to pit road. I don't know if he's going to make it, but he is trying, though. He is trying, but that engine is definitely done for the night. So as soon as he stops the truck, he will be exiting that thing, and he will be finished.
That's an unfortunate break for that 67 truck. I know he was trying to look to gain as many points as I had the privilege of talking with him earlier. He does make it to pit road, so caution will not come out on that. Excellent heads-up drive-in by Scott Martin to keep that truck down and keep that caution from coming out. But I did have the privilege of talking with him earlier. He was one of the drivers on the bubble to make the race off, so every point was going to count tonight. So I know he was definitely looking for a good finish tonight, Jeremy, and it's just not going to happen tonight.
Yeah, this track's really tough, and you can have a lot of plans, a lot of high hopes at this track, and this track can just change everything. And yeah, it's one of those things where you can't control the engine expiring, and it could have been related from that damage early on, but that was a lot of laps beforehand, so it could have just been one of those random failures that iRacing does throw out there to simulate some realism on this simulator. So that's just unfortunate for Scott. I know he had high hopes for tonight. Just got to wait till next week.
Yep, as right now, race back up front, the 97 of Coors is still leading the way tonight. He does put the 59 of Bradley Walters another lap down. But Walters definitely fighting him there for a number of laps side by side. That was a really good battle. Just unfortunate it was not for position. But again, Coors in that first position, going all the way back to the 99 of Brooks Durding, who is currently in second position trying to chase down the 97 of Coors, but right now, Coors has such a commanding lead. It got a straightaway lead easily on the 99 of Dirting. Greg Holt in that third position in that number 3 truck, so the 3 truck in the 3 position is definitely trying to stay in line and in pace with Brooks Dirting, as those two are trying to chase down your race leader. Do want to give a shout out to the stash himself, Mr. Kenny Haight. Shouts out on Facebook, says, let's go. So again, glad to have you on board. Glad to have you watching with us tonight, buddy. Always a pleasure. You did a damn fantastic job last week, by the way. So again, Jeremy, everybody spaced out, but we are running out of laps with 19 laps to go in this event. Anything could happen.
Yeah, second and third place have kind of stalled out. They've been 7 seconds behind your race leader, Jeremy Course, for a few laps now at this point. So their tires have finally faded out to where they're just kind of battling for second and third. I think Jeremy Course has realized that at this point, if he's keeping track of his F3 relative screen, and he might be breathing a sigh of relief as that charge for the front has, it looks like at this time anyways, is finally over.
Yeah, and again, it's going to be interesting to see how this is going to pan out, Jeremy. These laps are ticking down quite a bit. Anything could happen at this point. I have stopped trying to really guess. Wicked Loose is the 99 coming off that corner of Brooks Dirting, though. Damn fine job wheeling that thing and keeping it going, not losing really any ground to the 3 of Greg Holt.
No, yeah, that truck's bad fast right now. Much faster than Holt here on the long run. He's kind of spaced himself out a little bit. And if you remember back to last green flag stop, they did pit together, so they're on the same amount of lap tires with each other. So he's kind of gapped himself about 5 to 6 truck lengths, maybe a little bit lower here entering turn number 3. He's finally cracked under 6 seconds under Jeremy Coors.
Yeah, so again, definitely trying to pull them in, but again, that's where those fresher tires are coming in. The question is, Jeremy, 6 seconds, under 6 seconds now to the race leader with 15 laps to go. The other question that we do not know is Coors trying to save a little bit of those tires as well to make sure he's got a little bit at the end. So that is something that we have to keep in the back of our minds.
Yeah, the way he's kind of kept up the pace here against Brooks Dirting and Greg Holt, I think you're probably 100% correct on that, as he's kind of maintaining pace now after, pitting, I think, 15 laps before these guys, so they're on the same speed cycle now, and it looks like he's finally back to what he's doing best, just running good, solid laps, and if he keeps doing this, hitting his marks, he will be the winner tonight.
Yeah, it's, again, anything can happen in this. We have seen some crazy stuff. If you would have told me that the 04 of Cody Porter would have had complications entering pit road and being held for a penalty with as fast as that truck was at the start of the race, I would have told you, Jeremy, that you are a crazy man. So, again, anything can happen in these last 12 laps.
Yeah, we only have the top 4 on the lead lap, and then 5th through 8th looks like it's 1 lap down, and then they just kind of fall back from there. So this track has definitely shown how treacherous it can be. We've seen a couple wrecks, but fortunately for Coors, no cautions have been coming out from those. So he's just kind of setting sail, and as I just talked about that, I'm looking at the screen. I keep bringing up the stats just because that's, for your race win, and Brooks is now under 5 seconds with 20 to go.
Yeah, so again, really stretching and spacing that out. We are actually going to be coming up to 10 laps to go as he just crossed the line. Still a straightaway advantage on that, but if he can knock down, that time, the question is, we already know that Dirting has fresher tires than what Coors does, but Coors knows how to get it done up front as well. That's one thing he does. He does work very well under pressure, and he doesn't crack under it either. So it's going to be a good race nonetheless with 9 laps to go.
Yeah, he's looking, trying to sweep back-to-back weekends here. What a way to end the regular season that is. To go back-to-back. That's just going to show how much speed, and he's going to keep people on their heels as he presents himself into the championship format Keep an eye out on him.
Yeah, it does look like going in. I don't know if I heard the 97 clutching it a little bit. I mean, he should be good on gas going in, but he also could be using that to try to make it a little easier on his corner entry as well. Again, 8 laps to go, Jeremy. Running through our field right now. Coors still leading the way. Brooks Dirting, you see him right back there, trying to chase him down. Right behind him is Holt. Oscar Jensen does find himself back into that 4th position. Bradley Walters in the 59 is in the top 5 in that final 5th position. Benoit trying to chase down the 59 to try to crack the top 5 again. With Rich Malagani sitting in 6th position. Anthony Crownover had such a great start to this race, is in 8th position. Tim Henderson in that 00, fantastic run for that man in the 9th position. And Ron Holmes has cracked the top 10, still trucking away. Holmesy himself, so again, excellent run for that 33 team.
Yeah, excellent run for sure. Looks like Benoit is definitely going to be on the heels of Bradley Walters entering the final few laps of tonight's race. Running much faster times than him. That might be the little position there to watch, as top 5 is pretty important because we keep track of the top 5 stats. So I'm going to keep an eye on that one.
Yeah, keeping an eye on that as we are at 5 laps to go. That man right there in the 97, Jeremy Coors, still leading the way as it sits. The 99 of Dirting trying to chase him down as you see Coors going off into turn 1. Dirting right now going off into turn 1, so about 2 corner separation as it sits with 1 lapped truck in between those two with 4 laps to go. That is going to be your biggest one. Dirting definitely trying to chase him down. Greg Holt in 3rd. A lot of space between him and 2nd place at Dirting. So again, Holt safely in that 3rd position, as there's still a lot of space between Holt and Oscar Jensen, who is running 4th, Jeremy.
Yeah, lots of space for sure. Just going to be too little too late. We see that battle for 5th as they are side by side. Josh Benoit easily takes it. He has put himself back into the top 5 with just a handful of laps to go.
Yeah, so he's coming on strong, trying to make up as much time as he possibly can. The issue is Jensen is going off into turn 1 up there, so a lot of space to try to make up with 2 laps to go, Jeremy.
Yeah, 2 laps to go for sure, and I'm going to put my eyes on Jeremy Coors, who's just setting sail here. He's going to be letting Clayton White go, I would imagine. No pressure here. Kind of stays behind him, actually. But, yeah, Coors now on the last lap. 3 seconds ahead of 2nd place, and he just got just 2 more corners to go.
2 more corners for the driver of the number 97. Martin Sports, Maconi Setup Shop, Ford F-150. Looking to try to bring it home as he's working his way through the final 2 corners. Coming off turn 4, the 97 of Jeremy Coors will take your race win. Excellent attempt by the 99 of Dirting, who will finish 2nd. Greg Holt will finish 3rd. Oscar Jensen will cross the line in 4th. And Josh Benoit will be coming across the line in that 5th position. Bradley Walters in the 59 finishes 6th. Malagani crosses in 7th. Anthony Crownover in 8th. And as it's looking, looks like Tim Henderson will be in 9th. And Ron Holmes will round out your top 10.
Clayton White takes home 11th. Scott Martin 12th. Cody Porter 13th. Bryson Dirting in 14th. Connor Hazel 15th. Jeff Converse 16th. Braden Carroll in 17th, and George Oakes rounding out the field in 18th place. Jeremy Coors, super excited, back-to-back wins, man. That's tough to do, and he is burning them down on the front stretch.
Yeah, burning them down big time, and I will have to say, Jeremy, that is very reminiscent of last week's events as far as the fuel mileage and strategy. We will find out when we do his post-race podium interview, as we will be getting ready to swap over to the Sticker Cabana post-race podium show, as he has taken his Polish victory lap around Dover. Again, something that was made famous by the driver of the number 7, Mr. Alan Kulwicki, taking that Polish victory lap. So again, fantastic thing. First time we have actually seen that this season here at the Fired Up Esports League, Jeremy.
Yeah, and this is a good track to do. You got fans literally scattered across the entire track, backstretch, front stretch, the bridge, you name it. It's he's waving to a lot of fans out there. So this is one of those venues to where it makes the most sense, and he's definitely doing it, showcasing everyone that he's excited and he's soaking it in, man. Back-to-back wins. I don't blame him.
Nor do I. So again, your top three, we will be talking with them momentarily. That's the 97 of Jeremy Coors is your right where if I can talk. Your race winner, the 99 of Brooks Dirting second, and the 3 of Greg Holt finishes in that number 3 spot. Again, we will also be talking with the top 3 in your regular season points standings, with the exception of we clearly do not have Joseph Causey here tonight, so we will be talking with second and third place. But Joseph Causey still will get issued those iRacing credits on behalf of Nerditudes and the boss lady herself, my lovely, lovely wife, Brandy Logston, who was nice enough to put up the money for the drivers catching on a consistent, regular basis the regular season. So, again, fantastic job.
Yeah, congrats there to Kazi on taking that top spot of the regular season. Now we got to get our mind set up for the playoffs. That should be an excellent 4 races. Looking forward to calling every lap of the action on the next 4 or 5 weeks, rather, because we have next week off for Thanksgiving. But I am going to try to scan the chats here, and I do think Greg Holt is available. So if we want to get this post-race started, I'm looking at Greg Holt here. I'm going to pull him in right now. Greg Holt, you got a copy?
I got you.
Hey, man, congratulations on the podium finish, being in 3rd place. That truck looked pretty fast. There was strategy all over the place. What was your game plan going into tonight's event?
Just survive. This place is typically hell. Luckily, there wasn't too much carnage, so we're just out there riding, get some points, and move on to next week.
Yeah, a lot of different strategies. Everyone kind of paced out. This track is always one of those tracks to where you have to manage your tires, and we know that you like to run up front. You run fast all the time. You run hard, and when you pitted with Brooks Dirting, did you feel like you had a chance to run down course with the amount of laps that were left?
Well, so me and Brooks were working together, and we thought that there was a chance. We didn't. I mean, after he made it to like lap 91 or whatever, we knew he was going fuel mileage. But we were trying to wait long enough so that there'd be a big enough difference in the tires to catch up. Unfortunately, I think we might have waited about 3 or 4 laps too much. We had pitted 3 or 4 laps earlier, or I hadn't given up 5 seconds on pit road, and both the pit stops would have been probably pretty good. But,
yeah, that kind of thing does happen. But I tell you what, I mean, it's just ask Josh Benoit. Sometimes the pit strategy works, sometimes the pit strategy does not. And yes, I'm still going to give that man a hard time. Why? Because that's what we do best. But again, you guys definitely tried that short pit. You and Brooks were working very well together. It's so hard, and that's what we during the broadcast we gave you guys mad props and respect on that, because not only you guys driving this, but you guys are making adjustments down pit road to your setups. It's normally what your crew chief or car chief would do. You guys are calculating fuel mileage. Guess what? NASCAR has a guy to do that, and you guys are all doing this at 160 mile an hour, 170 mile an hour going around this track. So fantastic job all the way around. What can we expect from that 3 truck and that 3 team now that the race-offs have officially started 2 weeks from today's date at the Daytona Road Course? And if correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe that 3 truck is in the race-offs.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. I'm not so sure how good I am at the road course stuff. I raced at the Charlotte Roval last night, and we got a 5th place. But honestly, it's one of the first times I've actually completed a road course, so we'll see how it goes. Hopefully, is it every race it drops a driver or something?
I do believe the way that it works is the race-offs are setting. They are pulling the 12 or 13. I can't remember what number And those drivers are being set in this current standing orders that you guys are right now. I do believe 1 point apart. If I'm getting this wrong, admins, you guys can correct me. It's all good. But it is going to be just a straight race to the end. There's no drivers dropping off anything else. Wins don't count for any additional points for the regular season. It just sets up the race-offs.
All right. Sounds good. Yeah, no, you know what? We'll be all right. Just going to be consistent. I mean, I like all the ovals I'm good at. The road course is just something that I haven't spent a ton of time on, and I spent some time practicing for the Roval, so we'll see. It's a little. I think Daytona's going to be a little bit less technical than the Roval was, so hopefully we make it work.
Absolutely, and you've got 2 weeks to prep for that, as we will be off for the holidays next week. So that is going to be a fantastic thing as well. So plenty of time to practice. But you know what? Excellent job driving tonight. Finished at third place, got that podium, 3 truck in that 3 position. This is your moment, your time to shine, buddy. Anybody you'd like to shout out to? Anybody you'd like to give thanks to?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Mr. Benoit for putting on and his group of guys for putting on a great league. Shout out to you guys at Nerditudes. Love to watch your broadcast when it's all done. Just shout out to everybody at Performance Sim Sport. Thank Brooks. It was a good day. Would have liked each of us to gain at least a position, but hey, we'll take it.
Absolutely, and thank you so much for the kind words. We appreciate it. We appreciate all the love that you guys give us. So again, congratulations. Take that additional week off. Get set in for the Daytona Road Course. Again, you got 2 weeks from today to get prepped for that, so plenty of time, buddy. But we look forward to seeing what that 3 truck and 3 team can pull off in the race-offs.
All right, thanks. Have a good night.
You as well. That is your third place finisher, driver of the number 3 Lego truck. Fantastic looking truck. I love it. I'm a Lego fan. I'm a nerd. What can you do? Mr. Greg Holt.
Yeah, definitely a good looking truck. Just a quick side note, unpopular opinion, connects over Legos. But either way, I enjoy looking at that truck. It's a fantastic scheme. I think we do have Brooks Dirting, who finished in second place on that same strategy as Greg Holt. Brooks Dirting, you got a copy.
Hey, how's it going?
Going pretty good, man. You and Greg had a pretty solid pit stop there at the end and tried to run down Jeremy Coors. Did you think you had enough? What happened there? You kind of stalled out around 10 laps to go, and then you made another charge. It was a little too late.
Yeah, he snookered us, really. I didn't realize he could make it that far on a fuel stop, and then by the time we realized he was going to go that route, we should have pitted about 8 to 10 laps earlier, and we wouldn't have given up so much, and we would have been a lot closer to him. And it was just a calculated risk at that point for him, and then that worked out in his favor. But I told him just a second ago, I was like, I'm just tired of getting beat on fuel mileage.
I hear you. I'm one of the worst to do. Every time I try it personally, it never works in my favor. So I just run it till it's dry. But I know sometimes that's not the way to go. But yeah, there was strategy all over the place, and you gave it a damn good shot. That is for sure. But yeah, he surprised me even with how slow he was running, how long he ran. Snookered us too. At least for me. I don't know about Dustin, but what was your game plan going in though? Did you stay on course? Did something change? What was your mindset?
I knew it was going to be 2 or 3 stops, depending on what was going on. The caution came at the only caution came at a really weird time. Was at 17. I knew if we didn't pit and went green, I was going to be in big trouble. So I just went and played it safe and actually pitted and hoped for a longer run. And I think it bit a couple guys that stayed out, and it just killed their race because we ended up lapping them within a handful of laps. So it kind of went as planned. I just didn't plan on somebody one stop in that last stint.
Yeah, and again, that's twice this season. That's exactly how Coors did it last week as well. Kind of surprised everybody, but I know it caught Jeremy off guard on that one. That didn't think that a driver was going to be able to do that, especially at this track, at the size difference, the way that he did. But like I said, either way, fantastic job out there overall with everything that's going on. The big question is now, this is the regular season finale. What can we expect out of that 99 camp come the start of the race-offs 2 weeks from today?
I'm pretty comfortable with where I'm at, except for I think we have one road course that I am absolutely terrible at a road course where Kazi is, some of them other guys are going to be really good at. So I'm going to have to put some hours in when we get to the road course. But other than that, I'm pretty comfortable and confident in the cars that we have for the other 3 tracks. So I'm expecting myself to at least have a chance, and the guys will put me in a good spot for it, hopefully.
And there you go. Good thing is we have 2 weeks from today before that first road course, and it is the first race of the season, of the race-offs rather. So plenty of time to get some practice in. But I tell you what, fantastic job. I mean, you guys definitely had the pit strategy there. Just missed the mark by ever so slightly, but that just goes to show how difficult it is to see you guys do what you guys do out there. Fantastic job all the way around on that second place finish. Definitely look forward to seeing what that 99 crew can do come the race-offs. But this is your moment, your time to shine, buddy. Anybody you'd like to say thanks to out there? Anybody you'd like to shout out to?
Yeah, big thanks to Nerditude and Fuel for putting on the show. Couldn't do it without you guys and everybody getting to watch it. Big thanks to Frontline, Bruzy, and Performance Sim Sports to help me when I need the extra little help. And big thanks to my family for letting me do it.
All right, and we appreciate them for letting you do it as well, because it's always nice having you here. Again, you put on a fantastic show. You definitely add to the excitement on it. But again, look forward to seeing what your crew can do in the coming weeks. That's 4 more tracks before we crown a Sticker Cabana Truck Series champion. Got that amount of races left to see if maybe you can't get that 99 truck crown champion. So again, congratulations on your finish tonight.
I appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
You bet. That is your second place finisher, the driver of the 99 Ford F-150, Brooks Dirty. And I do want to shout out before we pull our race winner in, who I know has been waiting patiently. Will Cannon does say, good run, Greg and Brooks. And congratulations to the race winner. So again, from YouTube World, thank you, Will, for shouting out on that. We wanted to bring you in on it. But that brings us up to our race winner, Mr. J Stan, none other than Jeremy Coors.
Mr. Coors, welcome in. Congratulations on a back-to-back victory, especially at Dover. How you doing, man?
I'm excellent. How are you guys tonight?
We're doing great in here. I wasn't here last week to interview you for your victory, but here I am. What was your strategy going in? Everybody had something different. Looks like you wanted to stretch it out super thin. Did you stay on course? Did you have to change it up for that early caution? What was your mindset, man?
Well, I was gonna obviously at first, if it was, I didn't feel like it was gonna go green. I was hoping for a caution right around probably about lap 25 is what I was hoping for. That was my ideal scenario. It happened on lap like 19 or 20, and I had a gamble to make and had a decision to make there. And I was like, I know I can make it on one stop, but do I want to? Was the question. And ultimately I was like, well, I guess I'll just go for it. And sure enough, it went green and played right into our hands. Pretty much started saving right away. I think I overdrove it a little too hard on that first run, and ended up getting passed. And yeah, it got a little hairy there, man. I'm very tired. I'll tell you that. My arms are absolutely dead right now, because when you stretch it out that long at Dover, you get loose, man. And I was just working the wheel. I don't know if you guys looked at my in-car at all or not, but I was just working the wheel nonstop for 2 very long runs. So all in all, it worked out, and couldn't be happier about that.
I know my external views, your truck looks super clean. Like, I didn't see any wiggles personally. You must have kind of kept that discreet, at least on the outside of the truck perspective. But where have you been finding this speed, man? That's back-to-back wins. You're coming into the playoffs here with 4-race little stint here, and you're looking real pretty. So where you find this good amount of speed here recently?
I mean, honestly, it's like I told you guys. I mean, before earlier in the year, I had a couple wins. I mean, I think that's 4 for me now, and the speed has always been there. It's the consistency and just being consistent and running my race. That first run, right at the drop of the green flag, I think Cody was in the lead, and he took off and started going super fast, and I was like, like I can stay with him, but I'm not going to. I'm gonna be nice to it. I'm gonna run my race. I'm gonna, not worry about the people around me and just run my race. And sticking with that consistency, I feel like we got a shot every week.
Well, I tell you what, it's definitely worked out the last 2 weeks now, as I seen almost a very similar strategy play out last week at Auto Club. So you definitely have that strategy built in. But that leads me to our final question: is what can we expect out of that 97 team come 2 weeks from today's date when the official race-offs start at the Daytona Road Course and for the remainder of the race-offs? Do you feel that 97 team has what it takes to try to capture that crown?
I think there's a couple pretty good road racers in here. So I'll need for a couple people, I think, to make some mistakes if I want to win that one. But I love racing road. I'm not the best road racer in the world. I wish I was, because I have so much fun every time I'm at a road course. I really do. Yeah, so again, I think I'm just going to do a whole lot of practicing here in the next 2 weeks and just turn as many laps as I possibly can and prepare for it and just try to run my race, and just that's what I need. That's the biggest thing I need to do, is just buckle down, focus, run my race. And I feel like I can I can come away with a decent finish.
That is exactly what has happened the last 2 weeks. So you have proved that theory. No longer a theory, that is a fact at this point in time. So again, fantastic job out there. I definitely look forward to seeing what you can do, not just at the road course, but at the whole remainder of the race-offs, to see maybe if that truck can't be at the end there to crown possibly as champion. You keep running the way you have been, it's definitely a possibility. But fantastic job tonight, Jeremy, as always. But this is your moment. It's your time to shine, buddy. Is there anybody you'd like to say thanks to? Any sponsors you'd like to shout out to?
Yeah, definitely. I'm sitting over here pouring sweat. My arms are dead, but my hands are dry, and that's because I got Martin Sports 906 gloves on and just nonstop, never let me down, gripping the wheel. So Martin Sports 906, martinsports906.com. Huge shout out to Martin Sports, and my main sponsor. That's number one. Number two, McConey Setup Shop. I am now a builder over there for truck sets and B-car sets with my buddy Daniel Hindra. So McConey Setup Shop, definitely them too. They've been with me from the start as well. Team Lunatic for helping me get this thing fast. Every single week we bang these setups out, and we're constantly working. So Daniel Hindra, Matt Lee, just all my teammates over there, just couldn't be around a better group of guys. So shout out to all of them, and shout out to everybody out there who's been supporting me, and I wouldn't be able to do it, without their support.
Absolutely, and I tell you what, the support is always given. Fantastic job. We're going to let you relax, buddy. Try to catch a little bit of a breather. Enjoy those back-to-back wins, and you are correct. That is 4 this season. So get to working on that road course. There's always places for improvement, but you know what? Congratulations on your victory tonight. And we look forward to seeing you in racing action here at Fuel in just 2 short weeks, buddy.
All right. Thank you, guys.
You are welcome. That is your race winner of the Great American Smokeout 160, presented by Missy. Again, Missy, that was Josh's idea, so don't bang on the broadcast team. But Jeremy Coors, your race winner tonight. Now, we do have a couple extra interviews that we are going to be doing, one of which is going to be one of the drivers out there and series sponsors for Fuel and Nerditudes as well. We wanted to bring him in as this is the end of the regular season, and kind of, ask him a few questions on his expectations for the race-offs going forward. I'm talking about none other than Scott Martin.
Scott Martin, welcome in.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Thanks for having me. Where's the beer? I was told there's beer.
I might have lied on that one there, but don't worry, because Jeremy fooled me. He said there was going to be punch and pie, and there wasn't punch and pie either.
What a jerk. Holy cow, he's fast, though, isn't he?
I got him in here.
So, yes, very, very fast. But we wanted to pull you in here and kind of pick your brain a little bit. I know you've been racing here at Fired Up Esports League. Obviously, a big supporter of the esports community out there as well, doing a fantastic job. Obviously, your apparel and sim racing gloves have been getting a lot of praise and a lot of credit. Coors, again, talking about how dry his hands are. So tell us a little bit about your, what your future plans are going forward, whether just with Martin Sports or with the esports and e-racing community.
Well, first of all, thanks for bringing me into the booth and giving me some time to talk about those things. Secondly, you said that I've been racing in the league, and that's a huge compliment because I've just been turning laps, but I appreciate that too. And then, before we get too far into it, as long as I'm hanging out with guys like Jeremy Coors and Indra and Clint Stone and just the amazing group of drivers we have over there, Matt Lee, Brandon Gagnon, these guys, they keep me involved in the sim where I normally don't think that I would be, so just because of the relationship that I have with those guys and guys like you. And then the other thing I got to say is what a great league. I've mostly watched a lot of short track stuff when we were with the former band there, before we formed the supergroup. And I'll tell you what, the way the guys get to get along in your chat, Race Control does a great job. Clayton, Holmesy, Josh, you running the league. It's not toxic, and that's what makes it fun. So my plans, as far as moving forward, getting to that point of the answer is, as long as I can find a league like this to hang out in, 1 or 2 nights a week, I'm absolutely going to stay involved in the sim itself. The product side of it keeps me extremely busy, and it's not always enjoyable. I mean, it's work. It's extremely challenging to become the kind of company that we want to become, and we're busting our butts to do that. So when I get into a league like this over at Fired Up, it's a lot of fun for me, and I just feel like the community has embraced me too. It gives me an opportunity to hang out with these guys where I don't think I would normally be able to get on the track with half of the people that we race with here. So anyway, long-winded. Sorry, lots to talk about.
That's all right. That's why we brought you in. But no, I mean, it's always nice, especially with everything you do. I mean, I've worked behind the scenes with you. I know Jeremy has as well. Jay Stan has. And I know that the, Martin Sports 906 does take a lot of time, from you, but it's always good to see that you're able to get in and kind of brush fenders a little bit with some of the guys in there and kind of cut loose and have fun with it. So it's always a good thing. My question on this here is, we are 12 weeks in, the regular season is done. So it's kind of a double question on that one there. How do you feel the first part of this season went, the regular season, and what are your expectations going into the final 4 races of the race-offs?
I'm just happy to be in here turning laps. I don't even think I've finished, but 4 races. I'm not even sure. Just not to embarrass myself, my team. I carry, as silly as it sounds, I feel like I carry that pressure. I'm on one of the most competitive teams in the sim. And, I don't want to be here just because I make gloves that don't make your hands sweat. I want to earn my spot.
Yeah, but I tell you what, though, I mean, the gloves are nice, man. They are really nice. You make a badass product, and I stated that numerous times.
Yeah, you guys have been great to me and to the company, and the league has been super supportive. I know a bunch of the drivers, hop over and bought some of our product. I really appreciate that. It's humbling to see people embrace your company, especially when your company is your namesake. To me, it's extra special. Everybody represents the hard work that my kids put in, that my wife puts in, that I put in. Guys like Jeremy with our media, Hindra is one of our best salesmen. We've got some very strategic partners within the sim, and I'm afraid to mention one because I'm probably going to forget one. We've got so many people that support us. They are all listed on our website at martinsports906.com. And I urge everybody that comes to our shop to spend money to look at the other small businesses that are trying to exist within the sim and help those guys out too.
Absolutely, and that's the way it is building a better community, and Martin Sports definitely assist on that matter. I tell you what, though, I appreciate the time taken to come in and sit with us. It's always good to sit down and shoot the proverbial shit with you, but this is always nice to let the fans out there kind of hear a little bit more from the man himself. Scott Martin from Martin Sports 906. So again, thanks for taking the time tonight, Scott, and we look forward to hearing from you again.
I appreciate you guys very much. Now maybe I can earn one of those podium interviews.
There you go. Go get one.
Go. There you go.
See you guys. Thank you.
You bet. And again, that is Scott Martin from Martin Sports. Excellent stand-up guy. Always good. And again, his whole crew over at Martin Sports, to include his wife. I mean, just stand up, folks. Not going to find anybody nicer out there, especially for the amount of stuff they do and the amount of pressure they're under. Excellent people. But Jeremy, we have one final segment tonight. It's a very special segment. But with the exception of Joseph Causey, who is crowned your regular season champ, I do believe that we still need to pull two people in at the same time, which is going to be your second place in points and third place in points. Am I correct?
Yes, sir. I'm going to try to bring him in right now, see if we can get a hold of him. That's going to be Josh Benoit and Anthony Crownover. I'm going to bring them into the booth now. Josh, Anthony, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Copy, guys.
All right. So again, congratulations. Obviously, we're pulling you guys in here. We're missing one musketeer out of the three. Joseph Causey obviously taking a couple weeks off, which he was able to do so with the massive point lead that he had. But again, able to pull you guys in here. We wanted to pay homage to our top three podium finishers for the regular season points standings, being Joseph Causey, Mr. Benoit, as well as Mr. Crownover. On behalf of Nerditudes, and I will say this again, not just because she's my lovely wife, but because she supports everything that Nerditudes does, and that does include fuel. On behalf of the boss lady herself behind the scenes, the regular season champion will be awarded $15 iRacing credits. Second will be awarded $10, and third will be awarded $5 iRacing credit as well, just to pay homage and say thanks to you guys for your continued support on that. So again, take a moment. Congratulations on that. We appreciate everything you've done.
Thank you to the boss.
Thank you, boss lady.
There you go. And she's out there in viewership land right now. I know she'll like that. But I tell you what, with all that aside now, all the congratulations aside, we got two out of our top three right now. So this is going to be an open round table right now as it goes. So I'll fire off a question. We'll let Jeremy fire off a question. Josh, you answer it first, and then Anthony, you answer the same question. So with everything aside now, standings are set. What is your expectation now for the final four races, dubbed Fuels Race-Offs, in order to try to see if you can't get to that final position being crowned champion?
Honestly, Dustin, I think it's going to have I think you're going to have a really good first race. And we go to a really tough track that first race, and that's Daytona Road Course. I think a good finish there, coming out of there with a good finish, I think you won't be on cruise control per se, but you'll feel a lot better going into the next three races.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I totally agree with that, 100%. It's just going to be all about being consistent and staying in the top three pretty much every week. And I've gotten a new setup builder the last couple of weeks. If I can get the strategy right, we plan on going out here and winning this thing. But I know everybody's going to give us a hard time. There's a lot of good drivers, and I'm just going to try to keep up.
Yeah, stranger things have definitely happened on that one, though, for sure. But I know Jeremy here has been waiting. I know he wants to ask you something as well.
Yeah, I want to dig into the mindset a little bit more. Looking at the schedule, 4 races and 4 completely different tracks. So I'm just kind of curious, how do you plan for that? You know, each setup does not correspond to the week ahead. So, like, what is your mindset in building these setups for the 4 weeks to get yourself that top spot for the championship?
Am I supposed to go first?
Go for it, man.
He already forgot the rules.
It's all yours.
It's like you said, they're different. Each track is a different monster in itself. It's just you like Crownover said in the first time, you got to be consistent. Yeah, they might be different tracks, but as long as you're consistent, I think you're going to be good.
Yeah, I'm looking at the schedule right now. We got a road course, then we got Talladega short track after that, and then we got Indianapolis. So all phases of the game. So it's going to be whoever puts in the most work. It's going to be whoever gets a little bit lucky, because you always got to get a little bit of luck involved. You got to play the strategy right, which is what I need to get better at. And
me too.
Yeah.
I can attest to that, Crownover. I haven't been the luckiest on fuel in the past couple races, but that's for another time.
I needed one more lap at Auto Club.
But yeah, each track is gonna be fun. I think that's I think it's gonna be a good mix of playoffs.
And I would have to agree on that. I'm going to give you guys both credit on that, as you guys both burnt yourself on the fuel mileage. Anthony, obviously, last week, lap and a quarter short. And Josh obviously having to get into giving himself a little bit of shit, seeing as the broadcast crew does it enough as it is. So, again, kudos to you guys. But I tell you what, man, we look forward to seeing what you guys can't pull off and what everybody else can pull off as well. Going into the race off should be fun. I can't wait to see what the league can pull off going through. But I do want to shout out and tell both of you guys, because we do monitor the chat channels, the boss lady answered with a purple heart. So she is giving her thanks on that. So you guys just made a fan there. So again, congratulations, both of you guys, on your podium standings for the regular season. Now it's time to take that week off, enjoy it with the family, relax, get working, and come at full force come 2 weeks from today, guys.
Look forward to that. Can't wait.
All right, we appreciate the time you guys have taken to join us up here in the booth for the broadcast. As always, excellent. We will let you guys get back to kind of winding down after that race. But again, thank you guys again. And again, we look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks.
Hey, thank you guys.
Appreciate you, nerds.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
And again, we appreciate them as well. That was your second place in the regular season point standings, Mr. Josh Benoit. Again, we always give him a hard time. I swear I am going to buy a calculator, maybe 2, and mail it to him for Christmas, just to be a butt. But you're in your third place in the point standings, Mr. Anthony Crownover, who has been having some very consistent finishes, putting himself in the money spot there. And again, thank you so much. Shout out to my darling wife and one of the biggest supporters of Nerditudes and Nerd TV, who was the one that wanted to put up the prize money for the regular season podium finishers for points. So again, thank you very much, sweetheart. Everybody here at Nerditudes and Fuel loves you. Jeremy, with that, I tell you what, buddy, that was a heck of a race. Come down to fuel mileage. It was good all the way around.
Yeah, that was, it's hard to keep up with all the strategies and people pitting and a lot of curveballs thrown our way. And it was tough to keep up with them. But, Core's doing the back-to-back thing, going right into the playoffs. He's coming with a head full of steam. He wants that checker flag and that trophy at the end.
Absolutely, and it's going to be a good show nonetheless. But we have come to that point in the show, Jeremy, where unfortunately we have to say goodbye to all of our fans out there and all of our viewers and everybody loving us, as we have got to close it down. We will be back in racing action. Same bat time, same bat channel, 2 weeks' time. Again, taking next week off for Thanksgiving. Celebrate it with your family. Be sure you give thanks. There's always something to give thanks for. So again, be sure you do that. And the boys will be back in racing action in 2 short weeks. We do want to give thanks to all of our sponsors and supporters out there. Martin Sports, again, martinsports906.com. Take a look at their apparel items. Obviously, you heard Coors talk about their gloves, not once, but 2 straight weeks now. Take a look at their sim racing products. Utilize code SUPERNERD for a little bit of additional scratch savings there on the tail end. We want to thank Sticker Cabana, the title sponsor series for tonight's event. Again, excellent selection of stickers. Check them out. Will not be disappointed on that. Want to thank Nature Med, again, one of the leading dispensaries in the Tucson area. Again, not only physical complications or ailments, but also the mental, the non-visual ones that nobody can see, talking PTSD and anxiety. Again, best way to do that is educate to medicate. Again, fantastic way to do that. Nerditude stands behind that. There's a lot of people that are affected by that either directly or indirectly in some way, shape, or form. So again, leading dispensary in the Tucson area, Nature Med. And we want to thank Butt Kicker, again, as the official sound provider for everybody here at Fuel. So take a look at thebuttkicker.com/AFF equals 33. No, Holmesy, that's not just a poke at your number, but again, 33. And utilize the promo code Fired Up for an additional 20% off. You will not be disappointed. But with that, Jeremy, as always, has been a fantastic regular season. On behalf of myself, Dustin Ballistic Logston, and Jeremy Stanley, the legend, the myth, the man himself, we want to thank everybody out there watching and joining us either live or on replay for all of your continued support. Please continue doing it. We enjoy it. We love it. We love the feedback and the interaction in the chats. Click follow, click like, click subscribe, share all the links and posts. We are here for you. So again, thank you very much. And on behalf of everybody at Nerditudes and Nerd TV, we wish you guys a happy and safe holidays for Thanksgiving. Remember, give thanks. There's always something to give thanks for. Be safe. We'll catch you guys at the next track.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.